Hey everybody, it's Mitch, and welcome to my next video. Today we have got another Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 Prestige class video for you. And today, coming at you from the Complete Divine, we have got the Radiant Servant of Pelor. Now, the Radiant Servant of Pelor is a very interesting, Prestige class. And we are going to be talking about what they are, like what makes a Radiant Servant of Pelor. We're going to be talking about what it takes to become a Radiant Servant of Pelor. Then we're going to talk about what you get as a Radiant Servant of Pelor. And finally, we're going to be talking about how good it is and how you might use it in a build. So let's get started with it. All right, so first off, Radiant Servant of Pelor. Basically, what is it? Well, it is a prestige class that's all about the devotion to Pelor. You know, Pelor, the god of the sun, the god of healing, very good deity, neutral good. So it's really one that's the servant of Pelor, like their shining star of Pelor. So these guys are going to be ones that focus on really fulfilling his wishes, because generally Pelor's kind of like whatever, but you know, sometimes, you know, things need to get done, and these are the guys that do it. These are the guys that actually go out and do the things that really need done in the name of Pelor. So that's really what it comes down to. There's not a whole lot more to it besides that. So let's talk about what it takes to become a Radiant Servant of Pelor. So first off, you need a will of +5. It's not too hard to get, pretty reasonable for a caster. After that, you need 5 ranks of heal, and you need 9 ranks in knowledge religion. It's not too bad. The ranks in heal, it's not really that useful of a skill, but especially when you have magical healing, which you get a lot of from this class. This is actually a very good class for that. So it's a little bit of a waste, but at the same time, it's not so bad. It's only 5 ranks. It's not too big. And knowledge religion is super important. Oh, sorry. And it does have an alignment requirement of neutral good. That can be a bit of a hiccup. You know, if you don't want to play a neutral good character, you have to now. So there is that requirement. Can be a little bit of an issue for other things. Next, requires the feat Extra Turning, which is a pretty good feat, especially if you want to get into like Divine Meta Magic or use the Devotion feats. Can be very useful to have more turn undead attempts, or you can just use it to be better at turning undead, which this class is pretty good at. Finally, there's the spellcasting requirements. You need to be able to cast first level spells, which isn't hard at all, and have access to the sun domain. So not too bad. Finally, you have to worship Pelor as your deity. So cool. Fairly easy to get into, not too bad. So let's look at what they get. So first off, they get a D6 hit dice. That's all right. It's okay. It's fairly standard for a divine class, less than a cleric would get, but it's not the worst hit in terms of hit dice. They have a +7 base attack at 10th level, so they have a average base attack. It's all right, not the worst thing in the world. They have a good fortitude and a good will save. Not so good reflux, but that's good. 2 good saves. That's always solid. See, in addition, for skill points, they get 2+ int and an okay skill list. It's not that bad of a list. It has all the stuff that you'd really want. So it's pretty good. They get weapon and armor proficiency. It's similar to that of a cleric, but they actually get martial weapon proficiency, which is kind of nice. So this could be used as a way to obtain martial weapon proficiency to try and make your healer more of a fighter, you know, make him better in melee combat. So this actually could be used for that. Even though it doesn't have a great base attack, if you want to have like a really good like full caster level, this could be a good way to pull that off. In addition to that, they also get full casting. So they have full casting. So every level they get to add 1 level to their effective cleric or whatever spell casting level it is. It has to be divine, but still, probably cleric. They get something called Radiance, which basically what it does is it makes it so any light spells count as 1 level higher. So effectively they get the effect of Heighten spell for any light spell for just 1 level, but still, it's useful. And it also doubles the range of it. So I think that's Widen as well. So effectively all their lighten spells get the effects of Heighten by 1 level and then Widen. Except for it's not really that, it's just the effects of it, so it would stack with all those things. So yeah, that's actually very nice. They also get extra greater turning. So the granted power of the Sun domain is they get greater turning, which what greater turning does is it makes it so that if you turn undead, you automatically destroy any undead that you would have turned. Normally, you only do that for things that I think it's like 10 level, that you beat by like 10 or something. But this, it just automatically does it, which is really, really nice. Or maybe you have to double it. I can't remember the specifics, but this doubles it. Or this makes it so that anything that you would turn dies. So any undead that would have normally been turned is now dead. There's obviously saving throws for turning and all that, so those all still apply. But if they would have gotten turned by a normal turning effect, they just insta-die. Very nice. And the fact that they get this, so basically, instead of getting it once a day, they get it 3 times per day plus charisma, which is really big for something that powerful. Although I do believe these do count as turn attempt, just regular turn undead attempts, as well as greater turn. So when you use greater turn, you're using both pools simultaneously. It's how I would interpret that. Other DMs might put them as separate pools, but I personally see it as this is a better version of that, and to use it, you have to turn undead as well. They get full turn undead, which is really nice. So their level stack with cleric, so yeah, that's really big for turn undead. So they really lose nothing. This is just straight up better than cleric, other than the lower hit dice. So this is a really good class. They get divine health, makes them immune to all magical diseases. Pretty nice, including mummy rot. Now at second level, they get empower healing. That one's big. It makes it so that any of their healing domain spells, it has to be the domain spell. I misread that for a long time. It may see me mess up in a few of my older videos, but yeah, it is specifically only the domain spells, but it does automatically empower them, so they get to be 1.5 times stronger, which is kind of big. So not bad. It is limited to just a handful of spells, which you'll probably want to put all healing if you go this route. Then you get Aura of Warding, which isn't bad. At third level, you make it so that all of your allies within 10 feet get a +2 to will save. Pretty nice. And it's a morale bonus, so it won't stack with things from like bards and stuff. Fifth level, you get a bonus domain. Personally, I'd recommend doing that more for the granted power than the spells, because you're going to want to be focusing all your spells on healing spells, or all your domain spells on healing spells, to take advantage of your empower healing. So yeah, just keep that in mind. You also get maximize healing at 6th level, which replaces empower healing. So it's okay. Then you get positive energy burst, and that's at 8th level. That one's actually kind of cool. Basically, you do damage. You can use 2 turn undead attempts to do damage to all undead within 100 feet of you, which is huge. And that's equal to a number of d6 equal to your class level. They do get a reflex save, and the saving throw isn't great. It's only 10 plus class level. So it's only going to be up to 20, which isn't super high. So it's going to be fairly easy for undead to get through it. But, they're still going to take half even without that, assuming they don't have evasion, which a lot of undead don't. Maybe you'll encounter some like a lich that does, but this is really good at crowd control. If you're like swarmed with like undead like zombies and skeletons, like a bunch of low-level stuff, this is a really great way to deal with them fast. Finally, at 10th level, you get Supreme Healing, which is basically it combines your 2 healing ones, so all your domain spells now get maximized and empowered. So that's pretty nice. Pretty decent prestige class. What I would say is, how good is it and how to use it in a build. Now, before I would have said it's actually a really good prestige class, but after having done some time to look at things and think about stuff and reading your guys' comments, I realized that it's okay. Now, one big thing is healing in combat is generally not super viable. If you want to heal in combat, this is one of the best ways to do it, but it's generally not one of the best options. On top of that, I was pointing to the fact that it's only your domain spells that get the boost, so not that great. And on top of that, there's a feat that just automatically maximizes all your healing spells for free, as well as your inflict spells. So that's kind of big. At least the cure ones, I'm not sure if it does actual heal, but this doesn't apply to those anyways. So yeah, this is kind of a big deal. Personally, I would say because of those things, maybe just go with a 2-level dip, just 2 levels. Go in, get your empower healing, so all your domain spells, which you can just stack with heal spells, they'll all be empowered. So they'll be 1.5 times stronger, so you get 1 per level. It's not a bad option. On top of that, getting greater turn undead, very, very big. And Radiance is really nice too. All things you get at first and second level, most of it first. So yeah, not a bad 2-level dip. The requirements to get in aren't too heavy. 5 skill points in heal isn't that bad. You have to worship Pelor and you have to be neutral good. So that's a thing. But if those are more character-based things, so how big of an impact that is going to vary wildly from player to player, build to build. But if those are things that you can work into your build, this is absolutely a great way to be a healer. Do 2 levels in that, and then maybe get out and start working on some other stuff that empowers your healing, empowers your full caster level, and also turn undead. Could be very, very strong. So yeah, really good build, really good prestige class overall. Not as good as I thought before, but still very, very solid. But that's all I really have to say about the Radiant Servant of Pelor. If you like the video, consider giving it a like. Maybe subscribe down below and leave a comment, and also if you want to share the video, consider doing that. And I should have a link to my Discord down below as well if you want to contact me about videos, ideas and stuff. I'm working on establishing a nice 3.5 community. I also stream on Twitch, and the Discord's also for that. So yeah, definitely check all that out. But anyways, as always, I'm Mitch. I'll be seeing you.